we discussed about what are state variables and equations and all these things, correct? Now, see, practically speaking, suppose say a process is happening. Let's say that you have a piston filled with gas. You start to heat up the gas. Okay, now practically speaking, that state variables are going to change depending on what you are doing, correct? Now, what we do is when this process is happening, that change or whatever that process is happening, we cannot just randomly take, okay, this is the first state, this is the final state, initial final state, I'm done. This is the path take. Because it's not practically possible to figure out what step or what change in the state variable is happening at what step. Correct? That's why what we do is we take a type of a process. Again, this is a hypothetical process. The process name is called as quasi-static process. Okay, now what is the meaning of that quasi-static process? See the word static process. Static means sense what? It's not moving, right? But since whenever you give temperature or whenever things change, you know that some change is happening. But in this quasi-static process, what we do or what we assume is that this hypothetical process is so slow that it's almost constant. That is quasi-static process, like what you can see here in the definition. Okay, now this hypothetical process, say assume that you're boiling water. Assume, very simple example. If you are boiling water, now what I'll do, generally, what do we do? Like 1 degree Celsius change we'll consider, right? Now, in this case, I'm not considering 1 degree Celsius. I'll consider the change in like 0 point maybe 0.00001 or something like I'll try to calculate the change in the temperature in about 1 nanosecond. If you're calculating for 1 nanosecond, guys, how much of change can you actually expect here? Literally nothing, correct? So that is what we mean by quasi-static process. That means static, stationary. It is infinitely slow. Okay, this is the meaning of quasi-static process. Now look at this particular figure. Here what we are trying to do, we are trying to figure out the change in the system and in the surrounding. And the system to surrounding, that small change, like infinitely slow, that we are trying to figure out. Okay, so in a quasi-static process, change is very slow. That's why these are called as quasi-static process. In real life, it won't occur, guys. Okay, it's a hypothetical situation. Fair enough. Now, since we are talking about a process, there are 4 thermodynamic processes which you guys have to understand. In the next video, first we'll discuss about these 4 processes and we'll go in detail about individual process.